I'm Gena, and today I'm going to be doing makeup on the beautiful Mackenzie here, who is my model. We're going to be focusing on a gilded eye, which is obviously one of the 5 trends that's featured really heavily at New York Fashion Week. So off we begin with doing the eyes. I'm going to start by laying down a base. It's really important to have a good base down when doing the makeup on the face, but particularly on the eye, because it ensures that the product will last the distance and it will also prevent it from creasing as the day wears on. The trick with this is obviously ensuring that we work light and then build it up. I know a lot of people tend to go heavy in their application to start, and that can cause issues because you can't obviously remove what you've put on or take it off. So now that I've got the paint on there, I'm just going to use a basic matte shadow to help set the paint as well as setting the eyeshadow and laying that foundation down as well. Feeling okay, Mackenzie?
Yeah.
In order to build up the gold effect, what I'm actually going to do is use a gold pencil to lay more of that base down. Is that too sharp?
No, it's all good.
So it doesn't matter if this is not overly perfect in its application, because what's going to happen is that I'm going to end up blending it out with a brush and smudging it somewhat. But again, if we can build up this gilded eye effect by layering and layering and layering, it's going to really make it pop. The key difference here between a gold eye or gold eyeshadow and a gilded effect obviously is that it's really rich. It has that baroque feel coming through as an inspiration, and it's more high fashion, which is pretty epic. So currently I'm just taking the eye pencil as that next step of the base up towards her crease, and then again just softly blending it out. As you can see, it's not over the top or highly obvious, but it's just starting to give a sheen to her eyes and create that effect. What I'm going to do now is just create a contour. I'm going to use fairly neutral eyeshadows, which again are matte, and place that into her contour line. Mackenzie has beautiful eyes, and it's quite easy to work out where her contour is. Obviously, if we have issues with working out where this is, we get our model. So Mackenzie, if you can just open your eyes and look straight ahead, and getting them to look straight ahead will give the idea of where that contour line actually falls. The other thing about this as well is that we don't want to take it out too far because it gives the rounded, sleepy look to the eyes, so keeping it in line, obviously, with the nose through to the end of the eyebrow. Again, it's all about layering, so we're just building up the product. I've often been asked why I tend to start with the eyeshadow first as opposed to doing the base on the face. I find that this is a cleaner method. It means that if you have any product drop down, that you've obviously can just deal with it before applying your foundation. Now I'm just going to use a standard black eye pencil. Just get you to look close down for me. And I'm going to work it along the lash line and lifting it up at the corners, again to create that lifted effect for the eye. I'm just going to lightly smudge that so that we soften it out a little bit. Same thing on the other eye, lifting it up obviously at the corner to give that awake look. And lightly smudging it out. What I'm going to do now with the eye pencil is just put it into the waterline to create drama. So if you just look up, so obviously you just lightly take it through the waterline, and then I'm going to also work it underneath the eyeline as well and lightly smudge them together. Already that's creating quite a drama to the eye. I know a lot of people prefer not to actually put it into the waterline. I find that it tends to finish off the makeup and again seals the whole deal. But of course you have options when you're putting colours into your waterline. You can go for a pop of colour with a bright pencil, use a white to open up the eyes even more. Just depends on, again, what look you're going for. So now that we've put the eyeliner on, I'm going to use a black matte eyeshadow just to set that and again to create more drama. So just close for me. Again, it depends on what look you're going for. So if you're wanting to go for more of the sparkly effect, you would obviously use a shadow that has a pearl to it. I have a little bit of a love affair with matte eyeshadows. I just like how classic they are and the effect that they create. And of course, the beautiful thing about matte eyeshadows is that they work and suit all ages. So I'm just simply pressing that on top of where I've put the pencil. And then again lightly smudging it out just to give a bit of a smoky feel to it. And again working on lifting it up at the corners and working it towards the contour, but I'm not going to go for an over the top smoky eye, so again the drama is staying close to the lash line today. So what we're going to do now is just ensure that obviously both sides are balanced. Just get it close down again. Partially higher on the other side, so just layer it up. You definitely do not want a lopsided model or client. We're not going for the Phantom of the Opera here. Okay, and I'm just going to now apply some of the black eyeshadow onto the waterline. It will feel a little bit gritty, but it obviously moves out, and it's all good. I know that people who wear contacts are often a little bit concerned about wearing contact lenses and then having eyeshadow put in there, but it doesn't do anything to affect them or harm them. Just close your eyes for me for a tick. That's it. And opening, and I'm just going to now put some of the black shadow underneath, so looking up to the ceiling. And again, you can see the drama that's simply coming through as I work this through the lash line, really close to that waterline. We don't want to take it down too far and make her look like she's being punched in the eye. look for today. Good. So at this point in time, we could obviously have Mackenzie rocking this look as it is. Quite stunning, smoky eyes close to the lash line, but again, we're going for the gilded effect, so we want to work on that. What I'm going to do now is grab a cream base gold eyeshadow, and I'm going to pat that on to the eye area. The great thing about the creams is that they give a real worn effect and look, and obviously depending on who's applying them, you can use a brush or you can use your fingers, because they're meant to get that warm creased look going to them. So I've started off applying it with a brush, and now with the head of my finger just finding that it's a little bit better to actually obviously use the finger to apply it. And again, keep layering up the product till you have the desired effect or amount on there. Straight away you can see how that's just changed the way, I'll just turn you that way, the way in which that obviously looks. And we won't leave you unbalanced, so we'll balance you up. Again, I'm just going to start off by applying it with a brush and layering it on. Pressing it rather than smudging it. Due to the nature, again, of the product, it's best to press rather than brush around. Wow, that looks beautiful. I think I have made your eyeshadow envy right now. And again, you can press it just lightly even over the top of the black, just to give that a bit of a gilded effect too. Just get your look up to the ceiling, Mackenzie. Just going to take it lightly underneath. And again, just press it onto the black, just so that we create that drama and sparkle right the way underneath. And she hasn't even got mascara on yet. Mascara is a girl's best friend. Just going to actually put it into the inner corners of each eye, just to give more definition and shape. And just to complete the look. Stunning. Now to finish off any eye application, obviously we want to put on some of our trusty mascara, our girl's best friend. So I'll start by getting Mackenzie to look up to the ceiling, and I'll work on the lower lash line. Feeling okay? Mascara on you today, see your eyes. There you go, mascara at the moment. Okay. I'm just going to put a second coat on, just to build up again the drama. I'm just combing out some of the lashes that are wanting to hang out together. Now working on the top lashes, so just getting Mackenzie to look towards her knee area and obviously lightly pulling up the eye so that you create confidence in your client and also make it easier to apply. Just let me know if you need to stop at any point. Because our lashes are double-sided, we want to ensure that we coat both sides of the lash. And the great thing about pulling them up like this is that you're able to work them to create a natural curl and lift and shape them. She's got a tear going on. Again, you can let me know if you need to stop.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah.
So again, same process on the other side. Coating both sides of the lash.
Yeah, all good.
Stunning. Awesome. Just giving a little bit more of a coat, second coat. You just look towards the camera and straight away we can see obviously the effect that that has created. Alright. Now that we have done the eye makeup, it's time to work on the base and obviously perfect what doesn't need to be perfected and create more drama to the eyes by creating a clear palette on the face. Now we're going to work on the base. As I said, the thing with this is that creating a clean and smooth base will ensure that the eyes stand out even more than they already do. It's quite a cold day here in Wanaka, so I'm trying to warm up the product on the back of my hand before obviously working it onto the skin. I really like to blend the product in well to the skin. And the fantastic thing about it over time as well is that as it warms up to the skin's temperature, it softens and blends and moulds in and looks even more beautiful than what it does when it's first applied. Again, as we've done with the eyeshadow, and with every bit of product that we apply, we want to ensure that we're starting with a little bit less and building it up, as opposed to caking it on and then being in a spot of trouble when we can't move it. So really working on blending it around that hairline, moving it onto the ears, so that Mackenzie's ears do not look red if she's out partying later with bright lights, with little beacons on the side of her head. And straight away you can see that the detailing of the eyes is starting to play more of a focal point because the skin is turning into an even, fresh palette. I haven't gone terribly close to the eyeline at the moment because what I'll do is work with a concealer to blend that out. And working it around the jawline so that she's not left with the classic mask effect. Nobody wants those. I tend to blend the foundation colour to the body so that you can see obviously that this is working really nicely with her shoulders, and it also ensures that she's one fresh colour throughout as opposed to having a face one colour and the body another colour. That and the mask effect are things that drive me mad. So straight away her skin is looking really fresh, it's looking quite dewy and well moisturised. And now what I'll do is obviously take out any of the redness or dark shadows through using a concealer. When it comes to concealing, I like to use a colour that is lighter than obviously the skin tone. Okay, so you can probably see that that is lighter in colour. And what that does is it helps to obviously make features pop out a little bit more. So you can see there that it's a little bit lighter. So I'm just getting Mackenzie to look up. Ah, she's so well trained, she already knows. And again, because we put the eyeshadow on before we put on the base, none of this is looking muddy at all. Sometimes when product falls down, it can actually start to look quite muddy. But in this regard, it's not. So obviously we are then concealing under the other eye, just to get that balanced look. I like to pull the concealer up again to work on this principle, so that lifted effect. If we have any moments where we need to, we cover up. Take some of that concealer onto the highlighting point of the cheek. So I'm not working with the contouring principles, not in terms of how I'm creating my base, but obviously what is in trend at the moment, everyone's talking about strobing, so working through using highlighters to create the same effect and more of a less of a high maintenance look than your contouring. Same effect, less work. Just ensuring that any spots that need to obviously be blanked out have been. For the beauty of youth. And so if we just look over to the camera, Mackenzie, you can see that it's obviously just polished and shaped the face somewhat more, given areas of highlights, and just created that blank canvas. What I'll do now, just to give a little bit of that contour effect, is use a darker concealer. You can see it there, obviously that's the concealer I put underneath her eye, and now I'm using the darker concealer. And I'm just going to work that into the contour that lies underneath the cheek area. So if you turn that way, and you know, to find it naturally, we'd obviously feel around, but you just get a feel for where it is. And at the moment, it looks like one of those beautiful 80s lines, which is not what we're going for. So obviously, I just blend that around, smudge it out, and soften it. You can see straight away that that's just given more shape and detail to her face. Just turn it this way. Again, I quite like working in circular motions and really working the product into the skin, as opposed to working with harsh lines and slapping it on. Mackenzie just looks at the camera. We have more definition coming into the face. And of course what we've done is taken out that definition by putting on blanket colour, and what that does is that it ends up giving the definition back to the face. Before I proceed with cheek colour, I'm just actually going to put a little bit of eyeshadow behind Mackenzie's eyebrows, just to give a little bit of fullness to them. And this helps to comb them into place as well. I quite like working with a shade that is just somewhat lighter than the actual eyebrow colour. And to avoid the Groucho Marx look. Kenzie, you probably don't know that because you're too young, I'm thinking. Now what I'm going to do is work with obviously a colour that is a little bit darker than the natural skin colour, and just work that over the top of where I had contoured on her face, just so that I work that in and give the face some shape. And again, quick rounded motion so that everything is soft and well blended. I am a fan of blending. And with this look I'm doing today, I'm not really going to give too much colour to the face in terms of pink tones or peaches. I'm actually just going to look at giving obviously that glowy, dewy look, as opposed to a hard out blush effect. Drag some of that definition from the hairline as well. Just so that we bring it in and create warmth around the entirety of the face. How are you feeling, Mackenzie?
Good.
Good. Probably wondering what you're looking like.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do now is use a cream-based highlighter. Is it okay if I use it?
Yeah.
This one? And just going to work it on obviously where the light naturally hits the planes of the face. So the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow. On the forehead. To lift and shape those eyes even further. And I'm just, again, applying small amounts and patting them around. And up above the eyebrow as well. And what it's starting to do is just give more definition and shape to the face. So if you just look at the camera. And I'm just actually going to finish off with a powder that is effectively the same as what I just applied in a cream, but just to really polish up that skin. And this is that strobing effect that obviously is big at the moment. So creating that polished effect. Alright, so we're just working on obviously highlighting around all of those planes, going over the top of where I put the cream, and even working under that contour, and on the bar of the lip. I'm not going to apply a lip pencil for this because I want to keep it obviously quite soft and natural, and I have a gold lipstick, so I'm lightly going to just dot that on to the lip area. Again, trending at New York Fashion Week, one of the 5 looks that was obviously key and stood out was the bronze effect. So working with that bronze on the skin, on the lips, it focused quite heavily. Just dotting it around with the finger just to warm it up. And then we have Mackenzie's Gilded Makeup Effect. But wait, there's more. What I'm going to do is actually use some gold leaf and just apply it to give a little bit more drama to the face. I'm going to apply it using duo adhesive, which is obviously an eyelash adhesive and glue, which I will just put onto the back of my hand to start warming up. Just get you to close your eyes. I'm just going to lightly put that on. Just keep your eyes shut for me, Mackenzie. Lightly pop that onto the eye. With this, because it is actually art, you can see that it's a little bit thicker than what you would usually find with a gold leaf. So what I'm doing is just letting it attach itself quite loosely to obviously the glue that I'm applying to the skin. And the best thing about it is to try and work with, usually without glue, we obviously want to wait for the glue to set somewhat so it becomes tackier. But in this regard, because the gold leaf is thicker, I'm working on using it when it is still damp. It's sticking to my finger now, which is not ideal. Just putting it onto the other eyelid. The nice thing about working with this art gold leaf though is that it obviously is quite durable, so you can work around with it a lot more than you would usually with something that's a lot finer. And you can create a different effect to it. So you can see that I'm putting it on quite loosely and you have more of a look and feel that you can create. So I enjoy the durability of it. You probably start to feel that glue getting tacky on your skin, I'm thinking. Just looking at opening, just looking at the camera, and straight away you can see the pop that creates and how it adds drama to her eyes. Just a little bit, obviously in the centre of the lip. Just to finish it off. And that is the final to our gilded look. So obviously we can see that she is sparkly, she's ready to go and hit the town.